Hello, friends, and welcome once again to an episode of Get Better Soon, the podcast that helps you to win the game of life. My name is Jeff Allen, and today we're going to talk about giving yourself permission to suck. So, as I've written recently, and probably as you can see if you're watching the video, I'm still a little bit fluffy. I need to tighten, right? We can't tell myself to lose weight, but I need to tighten. No, in all seriousness though, I definitely trying to lose some lbs. So far it's going well. I'm down, I think, a good 30 pounds now, hitting a little bit of a plateau, but continuing to lift regularly, doing high intensity interval training, like hill sprints, and I do the Norwegian 4x4, which is 4 minutes of intense, super hard activity, and then you kind of go back to baseline. You can do this on a bike. I do it on an elliptical machine. So yeah, we're making progress. But anyways, I bring this up because I had leg day on Monday, and then I have arm day today, actually, when I'm recording this. But yesterday I was like, well, I want to do something, but my legs are fucking sore. And so I decided, hey, I'll go for a swim. I've always been a strong swimmer. But a while back, my friend who swam in high school actually taught me how to swim like an athlete, right? Like how to use your hands like paddles, and and cut through the water, and like how to turn your head to breathe right and all that stuff. And I got really into it for a while. And I'll tell you this, guys, there's no better way to get in really good shape than swimming. Part of that actually is just that your body is in water that's colder, especially if it's a colder pool. Your body just burns calories because it has to keep you warm. But it's, yeah, tremendous exercise. But yesterday when I did it, this is the first time I've swam in, I don't know, like actually like swam athletically, not like at the pool in the summer. This is the first time I've done it athletically for a long ass time. And I sucked. I was terrible. I ran out of gas way too quick. Like I could only do, I was tired after 50 meters. So just for those who want a reference point, 50 meters is going down one, right, and then coming back. So 100 meters is going back, down and back twice, and so on and so forth. But yeah, I'd get tired after 50 meters, and then I was exhausted by the time I did 100, which is pretty pathetic. I used to be able to do 200s and 400s, or I could do 100s and 50s where I was like just, ripping through the water like a fucking shark. But like, yeah, again, yesterday was not my best. But I only did like 40 minutes. Typically I do like an hour. But I realized getting out of the pool and getting in and going in and sitting in the sauna and just thinking about it, I was like, you know what? That's okay. Like, it's my first time doing it in a long time. I sucked, but like I still got a workout. And, sucking is better than not starting at all. And, I've heard this phrase before, that it's okay to give yourself permission to suck. Just get going. Reminds me of the Princess Bride. Wait till I get going. If you listen to my first podcast, for example, like that was the fourth recording, and I still said right too many times. There were too many ums and ahs. There was some noise when I scrolled, a bit of an echo. Trying to reduce, I don't know if you guys can see, there's a bunch of fucking towels and blankets against the walls. I at some point, like I obviously would like to get a professional setup, but for now, you make do, right? I'm just getting going. So I'd rather record podcasts and do this than not. So actually, on that point, 3 quick questions. If you did listen to the first one, did you like the theme music for that one, or did you like this one better? Both are produced by this this AI music producer called Mureka, Mureka, I think. So yeah, eventually I want to settle on like just one opening music and ending music, just because like that's what you should do if you're doing a podcast, because it's a way to brand yourself. But until we settle on one, I will take your suggestions and recommendations into account. Also, yeah, since we're on the podcast topic, again, if you have any suggestions on things I can do better or that I did that you found annoying, would love to hear it. Like I said, I'm trying to cut down on the ums, the ahs, the right, Right? Don't you agree? Right? Right? Last question. Do you want video? I do record it. I recorded it on the first one and I'm recording it now for this one, but it's like literally just me talking. So, and it's less, it also is like an extra step to upload the video and make sure you sync it with the recording that I do on my audio. So anyways, if you guys want to see my dumb face talking, then I can do that. If you don't care, on the other hand, I'm actually curious because I listen to almost all my podcasts with no video. Like I just listen to off of Apple Podcasts because I have an Apple on iPhone. So I guess like for me, I don't really care if there's video, but I also know that a lot of people like to watch on YouTube. And I mean, when you're watching on YouTube, do you actually watch the person or do you just like have it as a way of listening? Anyways, curious, takes us away from the topic, so I'm going to come back to it. But as kind of the podcast mentions, or as I'm making the point with this podcast too, it's going to be far from perfect, but getting started, right? I learned a lot. I got everything set up for my studio. I put a bunch of towels up now to try to see if that'll help me with the quality of sound, right? And I'll just keep getting better. I'll just keep working at it. These first few podcasts are going to be a little bit rough, but hey, at least you know that they're authentic and it will help me to learn how to get better doing this, and I'll gradually improve and then produce better quality stuff. Anytime you start something new, the hardest part is at the beginning because you suck. Another way of saying this is like, don't have you ever heard the saying, don't make perfect the enemy of good? If you can do something good, don't stop doing it, or don't not do it because you want to do it perfect. Maybe you can move towards becoming perfect, but like I also think perfectionism is not a useful framework for setting our expectations. But as I was saying, like, so time you start something new, the hardest part is the beginning because you suck automatically. This is true when we start watching a movie or start reading a book because we don't really know or understand how the author or director communicates until you're in there for a bit. Like a good example is I just started watching Adolescence. I think that's the name of it. It's about the 13-year-old boy on Netflix. Actually, I don't know if it's for me, but at first I was kind of like confused and didn't really understand what was going on. But then, right, as you get into it more, you kind of figure it out. So, give yourself some time. Obviously, pretty much any skill, you're going to suck at it first. I still suck at paddleboarding, even though I've done it a fair amount. Like I still fall into the water all the time, which is super awesome, especially when the water's really cold. But yeah, we're going to just suck. Like you're not going to start doing something and then be good at it. It's going to take a long time. And things like golf or fly fishing or skiing or snowboarding, like it's going to take you years to master. The one tip I will give is that if you are trying to learn a skill, do it a lot. Like just go fucking all in. Do it a lot because you'll learn way more if you do it every couple of days than if you do it like 7 times a year. That's a really hard way to learn. As I mentioned, working out is an obvious example of where we're going to suck at first, but we get better. And the brilliant thing about like getting into good shape and stuff is that you start off at first, it's super painful. It sucks. You don't want to go to the gym. You think, fuck this. I hate this. But then you start getting better, right? You still, regardless of those first workouts, you still get that high of working out. And then you start to get into this thing of like, yeah, I like working out. I like going to the gym. Like I'm at the point now in my life, even though I am a bit fluffy as mentioned, I've not missed lifting really at all. I've lifted my upper body every week for sure, at least once a week for, I don't know, since 2016, 2017. And I like it. I look forward to going to lift. I hate fucking incline press, but that's the one exercise I hate. So I just start with that one to get it out of the way. But overall, like I get pumped up to go to the gym. I'm going to go to the gym right after this. It's upper body day, and then once you get in really good shape, you start to actually like look forward to it, like I am with lifting, or I will get there with swimming, and those of you who are out there who are athletes, this, that you get excited for your competitions, you get excited to compete, you get excited to work out. Another good example of like starting something new and sucking, right, is relationships, which I've written about some. Dating is the suck part. Dating isn't super fun. Like, I mean, it can be fun, and first dates should be fun. And I need to write some posts on like how to make first dates better. But you're still meeting someone for the first time. Like, you're not really comfortable with them. You might feel a little bit of social anxiety. It's really once you get into like the third or fourth date, you're starting to really dig each other. That's when you get to the good stuff. When you start to have like really cool conversations, probably some sexy times start to happen. That's when you get to the good stuff. But like the first date is like you're just kind of feeling each other out, so it's not as much fun. I should make a note here too, like the idea that like giving yourself permission to suck, that this is not my original idea, and like a lot of the stuff that I've written about is not like an original idea. It's just my take on stuff that I've heard. Some of it's my original stuff, but that's not the point. The point is essentially, if you guys want to kind of know the inspiration that I have for this, it's a couple things, but I guess the primary one is that I want to write down all the things that I've learned and all the advice that I've been given and all the kind of download all the things I've heard on self-help podcasts and read in books on self-improvement. I want to write it all down and have it available for my son. He's 9 years old, and I want he won't avoid, sometimes we just have to make our own mistakes, but I want him to have like a basis of wisdom and knowledge that he can rely on when he's struggling, and especially when he starts becoming a young man. And I thought it might be useful for everyone, or anyone who's listening, I guess anyone who's interested in this stuff. And obviously my background as a teacher helps me to convey things hopefully in a way that's educational and has some real action items oriented behind it. The long-term goal actually is to create a school of sorts that would essentially focus on, it could be anyone post high school, but what I think I especially want to focus on is helping kids in that 18 to 25-year-old range who like they don't want to go to college because college is expensive, and honestly I don't think you need to go to college to do a lot of jobs, but they need to learn life skills. They need to understand like how to get a job, how to communicate with people, how to be successful in relationships. One thing I will for sure teach everyone how to do is to cook, because you need to learn how to cook for your own health, and it's also a great skill to have that you can be a benefit to others. If you're single, man, learn to cook at least a couple dishes, and like that is such an ace in the hole when you want to invite someone over for dinner, and then you can cook them like an awesome meal. Like that is impressive for the other person to see that you can do that, and it also is a great way to show that you care. But anyways, I digress. This is just my riff on things, so again, nothing too new. Let's get back to the topic. Man, I just love to get myself going. I'm sure any former students who are watching me know this well. But getting back to the point of giving yourself permission to suck, right? We're not going to be an expert from the get-go. A good way to think about this is that the learning curve is flat at the beginning, right? We're just like slowly inching along, but then it starts to kind of tick up, and then eventually, right, it goes exponential. Now, I should mention for some things, with weight is notably like you go along, you lose a bunch of weight, then you plateau, then you lose a bunch of weight, then you plateau, or I guess it would be going down, right? Because you're losing weight. But you guys get the point. The overall point I want to make is that you start off, your learning is slow, and then you're going to get better. And I'll go back to my example of this podcast. Like, I'm going to like suck at this at first, and the first few are going to be kind of awkward, but like I'll slowly learn, right? And then once I get it dialed in, it'll just be awesome. And then I won't even have to think about it. I'll just come in and be able to say whatever I want. One quote I want to remind you guys of, and I wrote about this, I included it in my post on Decision Making 101, but it's worth restating. It's from Seth Godin, and this was on a podcast from the Tim Ferriss show. And he said, "We should not deny that games exist. We should learn how games work. And when we make a move in a game that doesn't seem to work, we should not say we are a bad person. We should say, I made a move that did not work. Those are two totally different things. And so the only way you've been able to achieve all the things you achieve between archery and the dancing," he's referring to Tim Ferriss right now, because Tim Ferriss kind of is famous for experimenting with a bunch of different things, and everything in between, is that you make more moves than most people, and you measure them, and you don't do the ones that don't work again. I love that quote because it takes the moral agency. Doing something and sucking doesn't make you a bad person. right? You just learn what doesn't work. And then you don't do those things again. And what he's pointing out too is that by being willing to try a lot of different things and making a lot of moves, we can get better faster than other people. The people who are most at danger of falling behind in the game of life are people who just kind of don't really do anything. It's why I wrote in the social anxiety post that I wrote recently, get the fuck off your fucking phone, right? If all you ever do is just like stare at TikTok or scroll through your phone, like what are you doing? You're not living life. You're not making any moves. You're just a passive observer. You're just a voyeur. And I don't think anyone at the end of their life would want to look back and be like, yeah, like half of my life was just like scrolling through Instagram, looking at hot chicks. And I'm not, as with all of this stuff, guys, too, I'm not saying I'm perfect. Like I should work to spend less time on my phone. Although I would also not identify it as being a huge problem, but I sure as hell could spend less. The flip side of that is make moves, do stuff, be active, and make those moves, and then as you make moves, you'll kind of learn what works and what doesn't for you. The last piece here, to dovetail with another key theme on Get Better Soon, is that this is a great way to learn to change your mind. By trying new things, you put yourself in a different headspace, and that's really good. It makes you more likely to change other life patterns that you have. For example, I didn't do this morning because I'm recording a podcast for you because I love you so much, my sweet little cherubs. No, but seriously, there was a hot yoga class this morning, and I've done hot yoga a few times in life, and I've done yoga a few times in life, but I've never made it like a really, it's never really stuck. It's never been like a habit that I do all the time. But I think I'm going to try to like start a practice where I at least go like once a week, if not more, just because I think it'll put me in a different headspace. It'll give me some meditative time. So, I encourage you to try things like that. Just try different things. Get outside of your comfort zone, knowing that you're going to suck at first, but like you'll figure it out. Like I'm sure if I go to hot yoga, I'm going to suck, and I'm going to like probably have to like just lay on the floor after like 30 minutes because I'll be so hot and tired. But that's okay. I'll suck that first couple times, then I'll keep getting better as I lose more weight. Then I'll start to be one of those sexy yoga bros, and I can have a fucking hair bun and all the other good stuff. So yeah. Anyways, that's it. Final note here is that I don't think I will make an actual post for this, like a written post. So if you want to enjoy this, well, you have already done it, and that's just so you know a little bit how the sausage is made. I think that I will sometimes just record podcasts. I probably will make all of my written posts into audio posts or podcasts or audio versions. But sometimes I will just record a podcast that is not also a post, but we'll see. I always reserve the right to change my mind. Remember to tell me what you do and don't like about the podcast, especially like how I'm recording it. What you think about the music and whether or not you think I should include videos. And I think that is it. I will leave it there. Remember, give yourself permission to suck. It's okay. The most important thing is that you get started, and that will help you to get better soon and win the game of life, my friends. Namaste.